In the aftermath of 2021, it's time to look back and check who were the male seiyuu that impressed last year. I'm talking about seiyuu that improved their singing skills drastically and ended up being a hot topic. Those that out of nowhere impressed everyone with talents that no one knew about. Or even those that impressed in 2020 and kept impressing last year. Let's kick off this episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Welcome to Seiyuu Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and today's topic is 12 male seiyuu that impressed in 2021. This is a yearly feature that reflects my impressions on the various male seiyuu active in the music industry. To create this episode, I have into consideration several things about the seiyuu in question. How active they were in 2021, how much the seiyuu improved as a singer, their technique and voice tone, variety and versatility of their music, quality of the music released, performances outside of their solo careers. So this isn't just an episode about who I like the most, but about who impressed me the most, taking into account all those factors. This is a yearly feature, so if you are curious about the male seiyuu that impressed me in 2020, I invite you to check episode 21. These entries are ranked starting from 12 up to 1. Now let's kick off this episode. Gakto Kajiwara. Gakto Kajiwara had a bold and pretty entertaining 2021. He released his first mini-album, Dokoka no Kimi, and set the bar really high for any upcoming entries in his repertoire. He then proceeded to hold a worldwide live stream of his first live show, Koko ni Iru Kimi, that was unexpected, yet such a nice surprise that put Kajiwara one step closer to his international fans. Outside of his solo artist work, Kajiwara was active as the leader of the rap team Bay in the Paradox Live franchise, as well as a member of Epsilon Phi in the Argonavis from Bang Dream franchise, and as a member of Alkaloid in the Ensemble Stars franchise. He had a strong year of performances with all those 2D groups, however, where he has been shining the most is with Bay. His performances have an energy and intensity that leave you wanting more. It's almost magnetic. As a whole, Gakto Kajiwara is a pretty skilled singer that is further developing and polishing his skill set with every song he performs. After a solid 2021, I look forward to knowing what he will pull off in 2022. Kotaro Nishiyama. Kotaro Nishiyama released one of the albums of the year with his second mini-album, Laundry. Loungy city pop and new disco are a rare sighting among male seiyuu or even 2D music projects, so Nishiyama always arrives to fill in a need for those good vibes and cinematic soundscapes. This time around, Laundry bet a lot on being consistent throughout, with all songs fitting well together, the mood never changing dramatically, and its core theme being present across all 5 songs. This mini-album ended up impressing me, especially after I thought he would have a hard time topping City. As a member of 2D music projects, Nishiyama was active with Ryusetai in the Ensemble Stars franchise, Spring Troop in the A3 franchise, and Quell in the Tsuki Pro franchise. As far as impressive performances go, he stepped up in the Neo Cross Slide series in the Tsuki Pro franchise. He teamed up with Natsuki Hanae and delivered a stunning performance. Not only he performed on top of his game, but he also matched Hanae's high level of singing and fit well with his unique singing tone in what is one of the best performances as a member of Quell. Kotaro Nishiyama now has a clear identity and sound as a solo artist and keeps on improving his singing skills, most noticeable in the 2D groups he is a part of. Although he may go unnoticed to many people, he has improved into a consistent singer, he knows his skill set, and he always plays to his strengths. And because of that, everyone could be graced with a set of exciting and groovy performances that had me jamming along. Arthur Lounsbury. Arthur Lounsbury has been growing on me a whole lot, and in 2021 he left a big mark on me. Not only has been a reliable member of Erosion, with his technique, power and emotion standing out, but he has also fully embraced his role as the frontman of the Visual Kei rock band Phantom Iris. He was also active as a member of Swing Cats in the Jazz On franchise. Additionally, Lounsbury joined the lineup of The Last Metal's Venomous 8. It seems that everywhere there is rock or jazz music, you will find Arthur Lounsbury, and honestly, I do want to hear more of him. He fits any music genre, visuals, aesthetics and tones, and his singing skills are top tier. You can have him screaming and shouting in 1 second, being completely melodic with his smooth mid-tones in the other. He will deliver emotional performances with ease. You can find him adding a dramatic vibrato or ethereal falsetto to his performances. As it is, Arthur Lounsbury is one of the most exciting talents to take the spotlight in the last couple of years. Yoshiki Nakajima. Yoshiki Nakajima drops 1 place since last year's ranking. This year, the talented singer-songwriter was active as part of U-Make, Pionix, Fujin Rising, and Ryusei Tai. He was also active in Mosote Ichimo, also within the Jazz On franchise, and led Sir Vanity in 2 exciting single releases. His versatile skill set and music sense always put him 1 step ahead of the wide majority of seiyuu cast in 2D music projects. As such, he saw the number of projects growing, with him joining the Paradox Live franchise as part of Visti, Alphatune in the Live Us franchise, and Himmel in the Fabulous Night franchise. Nakajima is on demand, and his versatility as a tenor that can pull off a robust faux baritone is invaluable for 2D groups, as it can dabble in multiple roles, always delivering performances that will impress you. Soma Saito. Last year's number 1, Soma Saito, drops to 8 after a no-show year as a solo artist. Still in his solo endeavor, he headlined his very first live tour and managed to pull it off when all other live shows in Japan were being cancelled left and right. Aside from that, he did not release any music in 2021, which came as a surprise to his fans. When it came to 2D music projects in 2021, Saito was active in the usual suspects. Trigger in the Idolish 7 franchise, Solids in the Tsuki Pro franchise, Twink in the Ensemble Stars franchise, Judah in the Dear Vocalist franchise, and Fling Posse in the Hypnosis Mic franchise. As usual, he continues to be a go-to talent when it comes to 2D music projects, and thus he joined Oath of the Peach Garden in the Dragon's Bite franchise, as well as the Tokyo Color Sonic franchise as a member of the now winning Team 2. Fans got to hear different performances from him, with Trigger's jaw-dropping concept album Variant enabling him to not only play around with his singing skills, but also with the image and energy he brings to his performances. Solids released a passionate single after a series of unpredictable singles, so he was back with an intense performance. Twink is as bubbly as ever, his performances as Judah continue to impress, and the tension and emotion cranked up for Fling Posse's performances. He continues to improve as a singer and performer, now being completely comfortable playing live, as seen during his live tour We Are in Bloom, and embracing the characters he's cast as, delivering performances that always exceed my expectations. Although 2021 was not his year, being less active than usual, he was still one of the big figures after pulling off an impressive first live tour in the middle of a pandemic and delivering day in and day out stunning performances in all projects he's cast in. Toshiki Masuda. Toshiki Masuda continues to be one of the busiest seiyuu when it comes to working on 2D music projects. He was active as a member of Anthos in the Hanadol franchise, Undead in the Ensemble Stars franchise, Wonder Corona in the Pythagoras Production franchise, Chronostasis in the Fabulous Night franchise, Eclipse in the Visual Prison franchise, Moons in the B Project franchise, and Idolish 7. No matter where you looked, chances were that you'd come across Masuda. The interesting thing, once again, is that Masuda delivers polarizing performances in some of these projects. Some diving deep into his baritone range, or even going extremely dramatic into 4-bass, and in others he has a youthful, preppier tone, relying a lot on his higher range. As a solo artist, Masuda impressed me a whole lot. He did a hard reset to his solo artist sound and brought forward the sounds and melodies he loves. As a result, the album feels much closer to him as a solo artist, exploring his guitar rock origins. Origin is a massive upgrade to his first full-length album, Diver, having a cohesive sound and demanding of Masuda a set of performances that arrived as unexpected. As part of 2D music groups, you basically had him tackling all kinds of music genres, and doing so while delivering consistent performances filled with emotion. He continues to improve as a performer, something noticeable, particularly with projects he has been a part of for a long time. And as a solo artist, he seems to have found his identity and sound. Whether that sticks around for the upcoming CD releases is a mystery, but he seems to be going in the right direction. Mamoru Miyano. 2021 was a big year for Mamoru Miyano. Not only did he release 2 singles, Tomei and Dream On, but he also held Mamoru Miyano Comeback Live 2021 Reliving, back-to-back live shows that were simultaneously on location and being live-streamed worldwide. Miyano was once again at the forefront among male seiyuu, holding a worldwide live stream that ended up being extremely successful. His music made its big return to the glory times. Tomei was emotional and at the same time eclectic, showcasing Miyano's singing skills and versatility. Dream On was a simple single that brought a loungy R&B tune and a happy-go-lucky track meant to put a smile on his fans' faces. As far as 2D music projects go, Miyano is only active in the Utapri franchise, and while Starish released a new CD, the focus is barely on Miyano's vocals, so I can't say it was that impressive. When 2021 wraps up, the name Mamoru Miyano has to be mentioned, especially given how he is taking bold steps towards making all his fans able to attend his live shows. Hopefully, he starts yet another trend among male seiyuu. Shugo Nakamura. Shugo Nakamura was pretty busy in 2021. He held his first live tour in the last half of the year. Additionally, he released in July, and sharing the same release date, the new single Kowareta Sekai no Byoshin and first full-length album Natural. Both were interesting entries, however, Natural was easily his best CD release. Kowareta Sekai no Byoshin had a bit of experimentalism going on, and it lacked a bit of emotion aside from the title track. You can tell it was a completely different thing from the full-length album Natural, as its sound didn't really go in line with what you get there. The album Natural stood out for its quality, the good vibes, the positive messages in the lyrics by Shugo Nakamura. Consistency was key to impress, but its cinematic feel was what completely sold me to this album. As far as 2D music projects go, Nakamura was active as a part of Quell in the Tsukipro franchise, Dramatic Stars in the Idolmaster Side M franchise, and Rosso Corsa in the Dragon's Bite franchise. He also joined the Live Us franchise as the frontman of the rock band Unknown Order. All in all, when 2021 wraps up, it was good knowing that the talented singer-songwriter was busy, spreading his charms and mesmerizing everyone with his singing skills and natural good vibes. Toshiyuki Toyonaga. When it comes to busy seiyuu in 2021, Toshiyuki Toyonaga is yet another name that you can't avoid talking about. The talented singer-songwriter released a new full-length album, Link. He enlisted the help of friends in the seiyuu industry, Subaru Kimura and Kana Hanazawa, and gave them the freedom to write lyrics for him. The result was extremely interesting, and Toyonaga made sure to impress, even in songs that only required simplicity. As far as 2D music projects go, Toshiyuki Toyonaga won the Stage Battle series in the Paradox Live franchise as a member of the duo Cosmes. He was also active as a member of Erosion in the Carnelian Blood franchise, Lagrange Point in the Pythagoras Production franchise, Lolodi in the Hanadol franchise, Sawara in the Tsuki Pro franchise, and Thrive in the B Project franchise. He also joined the Dig Rock franchise as Hound Roar's frontman, Live Us franchise as the R&B solo artist Zin, and the Fabulous Night franchise as a member of Neo Basara. All this to say, Toshiyuki Toyonaga not only was busy working on this album, but was also everywhere when it came to 2D music projects. Well, that comes as no surprise, as Toyonaga is a vocal chameleon with a wide vocal range, a lot of technique and consistency plus control that are otherworldly. You can expect quality from him day in, day out, and that is what makes him still one of the most sought-after seiyuu for 2D music projects. As a solo artist, Toyonaga keeps on reinventing himself and impressing everyone along the way. Yuma Uchida. Yuma Uchida had a near-flawless 2021. He released 2 singles, Shake 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 and Coming Back, and the outstanding second album, Equal. He held another live show and was active as a member of Eve and Eden in the Ensemble Stars franchise, Dramatic Stars in the Idolmaster Side-M franchise, Heavens in the Utapri franchise, and Impish Crow in the Dig Rock franchise. He got to showcase his versatility as a performer, tackling rock, jazz, hip-hop, ballads, and R&B, and perfectly suit each music genre, adjusting his performances to fit them even better. Uchida continues to be the technical singer overflowing with energy and with a lot of charisma and infectious good vibes. If you've followed him in 2021, you may have also noticed that he matured as a solo artist, delivering a set of performances that will render you speechless in 1 second and make you go wild on the dance floor in the other. Equal has set a really high bar for him for future releases. However, in a way, I feel like he'll easily overcome it. He's at such a high level as a singer that no matter how high he sets the bar, he always overcomes it. I'm pretty excited to see and hear what he can do in 2022, both as a solo artist and voice actor active in 2D music projects. Makoto Furukawa. With a flawless first mini-album under his belt, an impressive first live show, and a set of outstanding performances for 2D music projects, Makoto Furukawa retains his seat from last year's edition of this feature. The talented seiyuu and singer-songwriter was active as a solo artist, holding his first online live show in April, as well as releasing his first mini-album, Room of No Name. The mini-album is easily among my favorites in 2021, going outside of the box for a set of surprising performances that showcase an unshackled Makoto Furukawa, now free to experiment creating different music beyond his trademark jazz sound. And what listeners get is an impressive showcase of skill, versatility, and charisma from Makoto Furukawa. He's matured as a solo artist, now daring to leave his comfort zone or even the image he set for himself and show more of him. And then, as a voice actor, active in 2D music projects, he showed his singing skills with Sawara in the Tsuki Pro franchise, Ruby Leopard in the Dig Rock franchise, Oshikuzu Ryodan in the Jazz On franchise, Oz in the Visual Prison franchise, and Cafe Parade in the Idolmaster Side-M franchise. He performed a wide variety of music genres using completely different singing tones and skill sets, and he nailed all of those. When it comes to a seiyuu that impressed in 2021, Makoto Furukawa has to be in the conversation. Shoya Chiba, the unmistaken rising star among male seiyuu. Shoya Chiba was everywhere in 2021. He's come a long way since his shaky performances early on with Killer King in the B Project franchise, and now is one of the most exciting talents in the seiyuu industry. And you could tell that it wasn't only his fans that felt that. 2D Music Projects started to cast Chiba like crazy, with him being the poster boy for plenty of high-profile 2D music projects from Visual Prison to Tokyo Color Sonic, Perfection Noise, and even Carnelian Blood. He's a talented tenor with quite a lot of low range to himself, and while you don't usually find him belting high notes, when he shows his range, for example in the solo song Criminal in Sparklu's Daybreak mini-album, impresses. Additionally, he always provides a lot of depth to group performances, making full use of his emotional range and technique. He can perform clean singing, screamo, and even rap. Is the glue that groups need, is the power and grit that rock bands thrive from. Is the type of singer that can always deliver charismatic performances full of charm. He does have the makings of a vocal chameleon, so you can pretty much tell that if everything works well, we will be seeing and hearing more of Shoya Chiba in years to come. Last year, I ranked him at number 5, yet since then so much has changed. He went from being called a promising talent to be an actual rising star. He went from being cast in 4 2D music projects to be in 8. He joined the Paradox Live franchise as a member of Inmeito and the Gambdoll franchise as a member of Gambit. He has been everywhere, everyone wants him in their projects. His singing tone and technique have been polished to a whole new level. His performances have a unique charisma and he continues to push himself towards improving even more with each role, each song and each project he undertakes. He was the male seiyuu that impressed me the most in 2021 and I sure hope he gets to rise even more in 2022. So much talent, and yet I didn't even cover all the seiyuu that managed to impress me. All these seiyuu are extremely talented and proved their quality as singers with exciting performances as part of the 2D music projects they are cast in. At the same time, all the seiyuu that I mentioned in this episode that have solo careers have managed to release awesome albums, regardless if it is singles, mini-albums or full-length albums. There was no shortage of quality from them in 2021. Now tell me, which male seiyuu impressed you the most in 2021 and why? Let me know in the comments, and remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of Seiyuu Lounge. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the Hand That Feeds HQ's weekly male seiyuu and music-related content, hit the subscribe button. I'll return next week with another episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Thank you for listening and see you guys around.